Alright folks, the Kubota L3301 HST here has hit its 50-hour mark of usage. So we need to do a 50-hour maintenance on it. And we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to start with our daily checks. We got our manual here. I'm just going to go through that. And just going to go through some of the sort of stuff to make sure you know how we're doing this, or you know how to do it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check our water filter, and you can see the red, our red line has come up to our white line, which means we have to take that off, dump it, and clean it out and put it back on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this switch right here. Hopefully that's not too dark, you can see that, and that flips back, which cuts off the fuel supply. It's not the easiest thing in the world to move, but we got that in that position now, and then we can take this ring loose. And so we're going to go over here to this side. This ring right here needs to come loose, and that is more than finger tight. So we're going to grab the wrench here and take that off. There it is. Alright, now we can probably film again if we can. Alright, so we got that off and dumped. And so we're just going to put this back in. I'm going to grab a rag to tighten it up with. I don't think it needs to be as tight as it used to be, so we'll just get it as tight as we can with our hand. Okay, it's nice and tight, and then we'll flip our switch back on, and that takes care of that. Next thing we need to do is check our oil level, and this is our oil fill cap here. It says oil, and our dipstick is actually on the other side, and it is right there. And so we're going to lift that up. It's not really, doesn't really look like an oil dipstick on a car or anything, at least not the end part. The end part there, it's just a small little button. But our oil level is okay there. We're right where we need to be. It's got 2 marks. The manual shows it a little bit differently, but we got 2 marks there, and we're in between those, so our oil is good. So we'll put that back. Alright, so we're going to raise this hood. First thing we need to do is get this bar out of the way, because otherwise the hood will hit it. So there's this pin here, and on the other side there's a spring load down there, so we're just going to pull that pin out and pull this thing forward. Back up. Alright, pull that pin out, and this will pull forward like that. And then there's another pin there's another pin right here. So we're going to pull that, and that releases the hood, so it goes up. And now we can check our battery cables, make sure those look good. And the other thing we want to do is check our filter. There's a spring here, and if we lift that up, we can grab our filter, pull that out. You can see we got some bugs and stuff on there. Doesn't look too bad, so we'll just brush that off. And then you'll notice there's a groove right here and another channel right there. We just put that back in between those 2 channels and let that pop back in. The other thing that we're going to do is over here on this other side. Here's our muffler, this thing right here, and they want us to check that and make sure there's no leaves or grass or anything in there that's going to start a fire. And you can see it's all clear, so we're good on that point. And then we need to check our fluid level. This is our radiator overflow catch can, and you can see we got a low mark and a full mark. and we're right there in range, so we're good to go on our fluid also. Alright, we also need to check our transmission fluid level. This is a HST model, hydrostatic transmission, and on this model, here's our seat, here's our steering wheel, and right down there is our transmission fluid level. So again, just a little dipstick, pull that out. Transmission fluid is pretty clear, so it won't show up here on camera, but you can see it if that light's just right. We're right in the middle of our range there, so we're good to go on our transmission fluid. That's good. Alright, they want us to check our cleaning evacuator valve, and our cleaner evacuator valve is right here at the front. You got your battery, you got your fluid level, and then this thing right here, and there's a little valve here that lets air come out, but if you just squeeze it, you can check and make sure there's no big debris or chunks of stuff in there. You can pull this off and check it too, but if you got big stuff, you'll stick your finger up in there, you'll feel it, but otherwise it's pretty easy. It pops off and you pop it back on. But either way, check that and make sure that's good. Alright, obviously you want to check and make sure all your pedals and gears and gauges and stuff are working, and then they want you to grease stuff. So the first thing they have is grease. This picture shows us greasing this knuckle shaft, left, right, and or RH, left H. What the heck is that?
Left hand, right hand.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so first thing they have us do is grease this knuckle shaft, and you can see there by the picture they show us where those are at. However, when we go to look at them, what we've got is a hole here that had this plug in it. It's just a plastic plug, so there's no real way to grease that. So I went to the store and bought some grease fittings. The grease fittings kind of fit in there, but they only go a thread or two before they get really tight. So it makes me think maybe I got SAE threads, and these are metric threads or something. Not quite right. Those are the threads that I bought, and or the grease fittings I bought, and they kind of go in there tight for a few threads, so it's enough to hold the grease. So I went ahead and I put it in there and shot some grease in there. I'm not sure if that's what I'm supposed to be doing or not, but like I said, they wanted me to grease that. I'm not sure why they didn't put a grease fitting on there instead of just a little plastic plug, but you can see over here on this side, I was able to put one in there and put some grease in it, but I don't know where it's supposed to push out. The extra grease is supposed to put out or anything, but at any rate, it was an effort. And then our other fittings that we do are up here on our tie rod ends. There's one here, and you can see I already put some grease in that, and you just fill it till it starts gunking out. And then there's another one right there that we'll put grease in, and then do that on the other side also. So we'll get those greased up, and then I'll show you where the next ones are at. I can't see any grease coming out yet.
Yeah, there's grease coming out.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, you're good.
So one of the next things they want us to do is grease this front axle support, and you can see by that picture, it shows there's a grease fitting on one side and there's a breather plug on the other side, and when I got up underneath here, lo and behold, my grease fitting is on this side and my breather plug is on that side, so it's opposite of what the drawing shows. But at any rate, we got to take this plug out. You can see it's just kind of, I guess, a release valve there. So we'll unscrew that, fill it up till grease starts coming out, and then put it back in. So grease plug out, or breather plug out, I should say. We'll set that there on that rag.
Here it comes.
It feels like it's full.
I think it's coming. I think it's also.
Oh yeah, I see it coming there. Okay.
There it is.
Probably gonna get a better grease gun. Ugh. All right, so we got grease coming out there, so we'll put our breather plug back in. Tighten her back up, and that should do that. All right, so we got to do these shaft supports. I'll show you where these are at. I forgot to show them to you. Actually, I have Wench Lori show you where they're at here on the tractor. But all right, so there's one right here, there's one right here, and then there's one right back over here. So we'll get those three greased up, and I'll hand the camera back here to Lori so she can show you where they're at here on the tractor. Okay.
The tractor?
Yeah, I'm just showing where I'm at on the tractor.
Oh.
Back it.
Back.
Alright, the next thing they want me to do is grease these fittings here on this top link for the lifting rod. But I have a backhoe on here, and you can see I have no lifting rod. If I did, it'd be right here. Be here down to there. And that's where that lifting rod would be, and you'd grease the fittings on that if your tractor's set up like that. So that would be right behind the back seat. Again, it'd be right here. All right, so that pretty much takes care of our 50-hour checkup. Besides battery post and our tie rod ends, we already did those. And then we're gonna go and we're gonna check our engine starting system. So we'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing they want you to do is test. Okay, so the next thing they want you to do is test the switch for speed control pedal. This is for the hydrostatic transmission. So what we're going to do is we just sit here in the seat. We're going to push the speed control lever pedal, either forward or reverse, doesn't really matter. And then we're going to depress the clutch all the way. Make sure your PTO is disengaged if you got that hooked up, and then you just try to start it, and it shouldn't start. And sure enough, it doesn't. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is test the switch for the PTO gear shift lever, and so here, that's where this is at. It's on the right side, and we're gonna take and we're gonna push that up to where that's engaged. Okay, you can see has the gear with the turning thing on it, means it's engaged. With the gear with no turning thing on it, means it's disengaged. And then we're going to push the clutch in all the way and make sure your speed control is in neutral, so we're not touching that. And then we're going to try to start it, and it shouldn't start. So that's good. And we can put that back and off. And now if we try to start it, it starts. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is check our operator presence control. And the way we do that is we make sure all our gears are in neutral. So we've got our gear shifter here, and that's in neutral. We set the parking brake. We actually do that for all these checks. We've got the parking brake set. Sit in the operator seat, and we start the engine. I'm going to shut that off so you can hear me. The next thing we do is we engage the PTO gear shift lever, which again is on this other side. We just talked about that. And the engine should shut off after about a second. If it doesn't, something's wrong. So we're going to do that.
Something's wrong.
Nothing happened. Either I didn't follow the instructions or something's wrong. All right. Place all control levers in neutral. Set the parking brake. Stop the engine. Sit in the operator's seat. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to stand up. Okay, so we're going to engage the PTO shift lever. We're going to start it, engage the PTO shift lever. I'm going to stand up and it should shut itself off. Ta-da!
It worked. It worked.
It works. All right, checking wheel bolt torque. We're not going to check the torque. If you got a torque wrench, the specs are in the manual. You can do that. I'm not going to show you how to work a torque wrench. And that's it. That's our 50-hour check for our Kubota L3301 HST.